Hey Ram fans, it's Ruby Kaiser and welcome to a CSU Football Rams Live exclusive. We're going to be chatting with some of our coaches who are going to be leading the football team into this season. We'll start with head coach Jim Mora. It's been a minute since we chatted with Mora, but he's been busy building his staff, tackling the transfer portal, and maybe enjoying some time in Colorado. Then we'll move on to some of our top coordinators, introducing you to offensive coordinator Price Tracy and special teams coordinator Kyle Cray, and then returning defensive coordinator Tyson Summers. We'll hear their insights on the team and the upcoming season. But first, let's get the man in charge in here. Please welcome Jim Mora to Rams Live. Jim, it's been a little while since we chatted. How are your holidays? How are you and Kathy settling into Fort Collins?
Holidays are great, and we are settling nicely. It's a great place to live. We're really happy.
So we're chatting with a few of your coordinators today. What were some of the qualities that you were looking for when you were assembling that group?
Well, just like every coach, you want, number one, a good person, someone that's an excellent teacher, is able to motivate, relate to the players, serve as a great mentor for the players, is about collaboration, is forward-thinking in terms of scheme and teaching methods, drill progressions, people that have good experience with good people and people that can make a difference in our players' lives.
And how does this group reflect the direction that you hope to take CSU football?
Well, I would say that they're in alignment with what we want to do. Otherwise, we wouldn't hire them. So, I think that's probably the easiest way to put it. They wouldn't be here if they weren't the right type of people.
How do you see the offensive identity evolving under Price Tracy's leadership?
Well, we'll see. That's to be seen. I mean, I know that he's an aggressive personality. I know he's very inventive, very creative, very aggressive. But it remains to be seen where that group goes. I mean, that's the great unknown. But I'm optimistic that it's going to be fun to watch.
Coach, you retained Tyson Summers as the defensive coordinator. What gives you confidence in Coach Summers to lead the defensive room?
I'm just really excited to work with, Tyson. I mean, he's a tremendous coach. He has just a great pedigree. He's been around great coaches. He's had a lot of success. He's very smart. He's very creative. I think he does an amazing job of creating a scheme to fit the skill sets of his players. And to me, that's someone that shows that they're not only an expert in football, but they're also humble enough to say, hey, it's not all about my ego. It's about finding what's best for our players to have success on the field.
And Coach Krantz, the special teams coordinator, came from Liberty. He had great success there. What encouraged you to add him to the staff?
Well, the success he's had, the reputation he has in talking to people, the good things they had to say about him, the type of person he is. And I think it's a bonus that he's from Colorado. So he has connections in this state. He has family in this state. It makes him feel at home. And I think that when you feel at home, you're going to do a better job. So I know he's happy, and I'm just excited that he's with our staff.
Coach, thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome.
We're going to welcome offensive coordinator Price Tracy up next. Price joins the Rams from UConn, where he was the pass game coordinator and quarterbacks coach. He has a handful of coaching experience from prominent programs, including Alabama, Notre Dame, and Georgia. Price, thanks so much for joining this Rams Live exclusive. You and your wife have gotten kind of settled here. I know you've been working hard, but have you been able to explore Colorado outside of Canvas Stadium?
Oh yeah, we have. We actually been to Denver a couple times, and then obviously Fort Collins is a great food town. So hit quite a few restaurants already in our short time here, and it's been really, really good.
I think my favorite part of Fort Collins is the food. Are there any restaurants that have stood out to you yet?
Oh, there's a handful, but I'd say the one we've probably frequented the most is Lubbock's.
Oh, I do like that one.
Yeah, so it's been good.
How can you not when you're a football coach too, right?
No doubt. They roll out the red carpet.
So you had your first coaching job at Clay High School, and then your next coaching job was at Alabama under Nick Saban. What was that transition like?
That was intense. It was eye-opening and quite the experience. But for a person that loves football, it was everything I wanted and needed at that point in my life. It was an unbelievable experience.
Now you're the offensive coordinator at Colorado State. What made this opportunity the right step for you?
It was a few things. The first one for me was that it's a football school. It's a football town. The people here love football. It's important to them. And to a person that revolves their whole life around football, that was obviously enticing. And then another thing was obviously Coach Mora, a person I believe in who does things the right way, both on and off the field. And then the last thing would be is an opportunity to be a coordinator, which for me was the next step logically in my career and one I couldn't say no to.
Absolutely. It's your first year as an offensive coordinator. I saw that playbook sitting on your desk. It's about this thick. What does it take to build that playbook?
It takes years and years and years of trial and error. It also takes a lot of really good assistant coaches and analysts that pour their blood, sweat, and tears into it. And yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just one man or one person working on it, but it's a group effort.
What would you like our CSU fans to know about the brand of coaching that you're bringing to Colorado State?
Yeah, the main thing for me is I like to be an intense on-the-field coach. I like to be honest. I like to be accessible to the players. And then the brand of football that I'd like us to be known for is tough, resilient, composed, and explosive.
What are some of the core principles of your offense that you hope to bring to Colorado State?
Yeah, regardless of players or scheme, just kind of the generic things I would like us to be known for is that we take care of the football, we're explosive, we score touchdowns in the red area, we're really good on 3rd and 4th down, we don't take lost yardage plays, and then we have athletic quarterbacks that make off-schedule plays.
How do you feel that our roster as a whole right now fits into those core principles?
I think, some of the parts that were holdovers from the previous regime and then some of the things we added or the people we added in the portal, they're exciting. We have a lot of playmakers at a lot of different spots. I feel like we got better at every single position group on the offensive side of the ball, so it's exciting.
You've won not one, but 2 national championships, one at Georgia under Kirby Smart and one at Alabama under Nick Saban. What does it take to bring that kind of championship culture to Colorado State?
There's a couple things, but the main things really are, it's just a what's important now mentality. It's take it day by day, and then it's process over results. So it's a process-driven approach. We don't look at the outcomes. We look at the work and how we do it.
Thanks so much for joining Rams Live, Price. We're going to have a little bit of a familiar face coming in next. We'll have Tyson Summers, the defensive coordinator. Tyson returns to Colorado State as the defensive coordinator, previously leading the Rams in 2025, and before that, the DC at Western Kentucky. Tyson, before we start, I gotta say, I was sitting in the hallway a couple weeks ago, right outside your office, and I really am interested by your playlist. I need you to describe the genre of music you listen to because we were all over the place, but I loved it.
Well, players and coaches give me a hard time. I'm kind of a little all over the place. So I usually kind of start with Marvin Gaye radio, and that kind of takes me into some Earth, Wind, and Fire. I really like Brothers Osborne for about the last, 6 or 7 months. I can move very quickly into Chris Stapleton, but I always like to also kind of pull out a Pandora and go into 90s hip-hop barbecue radio. And so that gives me my own little jam too. So we jump around a good bit.
I love it. I'm a big country music fan, so I was singing along, and then I heard it was like a rap song that I knew, but to the tune of like a country song, and I was like, oh, how did you even find this? But it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
You played a huge role in maintaining recruits during the transitional period. What was that like, and how were you able to keep them in a time of such uncertainty?
Yeah, well, I think we really did a good job when you go back to the high school recruiting and our process back through April, May, and June. And, we were able to get a lot of, really high profile high school recruits at the time. And I think the biggest thing was just selling Colorado State. And so we kept trying to talk to them about the city of Fort Collins. We kept trying to talk to them about the university and really trying to choose the school and the university and basing their future off of the school and what that looked like. And, I think we all feel really strongly about what we live here in Fort Collins and the university and really what our administration has done with our school and in athletics. And so I think those were the big sales pitches. And, we were fortunate to maintain most of that class. And we've got a lot of that class here today, really defensively. All of the high school guys that we signed are all here other than 4 guys. So a lot of mid-year guys already here getting a chance to work out, getting a chance to learn our systems, and we'll have an opportunity to go through spring practice and get an early jump in their academics.
That's really impressive, and I think it says a lot about you as a coach, how you're able to connect with those players. Last season, you had to jump into the team with a roster that was already set. Now you've got to work to help build that roster. How does it feel to be able to work with a group that you took part in recruiting?
Yeah, well, I think it's an important part for sure. Coming into a year ago, really the message to our players and to our team that I always try to say is just, I really feel like any situation that you step into, you inherit players, you inherit coaches, but those have always been guys that I felt like were my guys. I've always tried to treat them the same. I've heard a lot of coaches say, well, this person's not my guy or not this or that, but I've never felt like that. I chose to come here and chose to be able to, affiliate myself with this university and this program. And so I was choosing each one of them. As we move into this year, it's very much an opportunity, though, to take a step back and look and say, where do we need to fill in the pieces? And, we were really adamant about trying to recruit length and trying to recruit size. And I think between the high school players that we've recruited and brought in and the guys that we've been able to bring in through the portal, I think we've been able to do that.
How would you describe your vision for the team's defensive mentality?
Yeah, well, we've got a lot of things we've got to get better at. And so a lot of, like you said, to your point earlier, was just trying to make sure as we look at it, how are we going to go stop the run the best? We felt like at times last year where I've got to do a better job of being able to find the right chemistry or the right, and by chemistry I mean really trying to put together the right cocktail, so to speak, of defense and players in the right positions. And so we really tried hard to go fit a player profile that was going to fit and give us a chance to stop the run. That was a big emphasis, was to get bigger, be bigger up front. We were able to do that. I think we were able to help ourselves with some team speed for sure at both linebacker positions and in the secondary. So I think the identity for us is going to be really just about how we can be resilient and how we can be able to stop the run up front. I think those will be really important pieces for us.
How does the roster as a whole that we're looking at now fit into that resilient identity?
Yeah, well, I think exactly what you're talking about. We're looking for guys that, from our current team that we've been able to hold over and being able to look at guys from different schools as well. I think Coach Mora did an exceptional job, and Alex and his staff did an exceptional job of being able to bring in the right guys. We were really thorough, which comes from Coach Mora's NFL background, about being able to have meetings with the players and really trying to understand their why and, what's important to them, how they become a good fit for Colorado State. I think as we came through, that 2-week period of time, I think we were able to bring those guys together and trying to feel the identity that we're hoping to have.
What excites you the most about this 2026 coaching staff, roster, and just the season to come?
Well, I think like anything else, it's just it's exciting. Anytime you've got an opportunity for, a fresh start with things, it becomes exciting. And I think that for me, particularly the older I get or the more years I coach, this is year 25 for me. And I think it's just about the people. And if you've got people that you trust, I say this to our young coaches all the time, I've really tried hard the last 7 or 8 years to enjoy every moment of every day that I'm coaching. And I want to enjoy my staff. I want to come to work thrilled to spend time with them each day, if that's helping them and whatever mentorship that takes. And the same things with the players. And I've just really enjoyed coaching more and more through the last 7 or 8 years, kind of taking that approach. And I'm just excited about the new opportunity. Love the things that we're doing with the staff that Coach Moore's brought in. Love the people that we have, and really enjoying getting to know the new guys that are on our staff and with our players.
Well, you definitely show that. You actually reminded me of my first impression of you when I came up into that hallway. Your door was wide open, like anyone could come in and say hi, and you were playing It's a Great Day to Be Alive by Travis Tritt. And I was like, this guy seems like somebody I want to come and hang out with. And I think you definitely radiate that. And so your players are lucky to play for you.
Well, I appreciate it. I try to start the day. I did this about the same time 7 or 8 years ago. So first thing I do when I get to work every morning, I come in, I listen to Amazing Grace, and then the next song is It's a Great Day to Be Alive. And so I'm trying to get my mindset not to complain about anything, really.
I love that. I might need to try that when I come into the office,
It's a good way to start. It's a good way to start.
Thank you so much for your time, Tyson. And last but not least, we're going to have our special teams coordinator, Kyle Cray, joining Rams Live. Kyle Cray comes to CSU from Liberty, where he spent the last 3 seasons as a special teams coordinator, outside linebackers coach, co-defensive coordinator, and secondary coach. He was a key figure in one of the most successful stretches in Liberty football history. He led the team to a 21-4 record, Conference USA Championship, and Fiesta Bowl appearance. Coach Cray, thanks so much for joining Rams Live.
Happy to be here.
So you get to be back in your home state. You're originally from Denver, Colorado. How nice is it to be back home? You got some family here, and
It's awesome. My wife, Brittany, and I were both born and raised. It's been awesome for like the last month driving to work in this awesome stadium and facility, and you can just feel the investment that the university's made, the alignment from the top down. it's awesome. And I have a bunch of friends and family that are alumni, and just the support of the community reaching out. You can tell they're just craving for the Rams to be good. So happy to be a part of it.
And Kyle, you were originally at Liberty and you found great success there. What kind of skills will you bring from that success at Liberty to Colorado State?
Yeah, we were 21-5 our first 2 years at Liberty. Won the Conference USA, went to the Fiesta Bowl. I think the biggest thing is we had a hungry and competitive team there, and being around our guys here, it feels very similar. So I think the biggest thing is, you create that environment where competition's number one. You support the pillars of the head coach and the organization, and then there's got to be a level of honesty and transparency where we are able to tell the players this is what we got to do to improve, and they buy in and do it. But I think having that type of group will help us.
What are some of your goals and your identity as a coach, and how will this special teams unit represent that?
Well, my whole thing, the biggest thing for me is purpose. My purpose is the players. They have 4 to 5 years to play college football. So what can I do to help them be a part of that make that experience positive? And they look back on it. They look back and have great memories of being a college football player. And I think what being the special teams coordinator does, everyone thinks the special teams is the kicker and the punter. You look at punt, kickoff return, and punt block. That's 44 players. And it's 44 opportunities for a guy to go home and tell his mom or his dad or his uncle or his coach, I'm a starter on the Colorado State football team. And so I think that opportunity is one of the things I'm most excited about.
I think it's really cool that you said that your purpose is the players, especially in this era of football and college athletics where there's so many other purposes for people. So I think that says a lot about you as a coach.
Trying to. So.
What is this roster that we're looking at? How does it represent that identity that you're talking about with the special teams unit?
Well, I think, you look at it, we got players from Hawaii all the way to Connecticut and in between. And so that's the coolest thing about football to me is you have people from different backgrounds, different areas that are all in the same roof or in the same clothes chasing the same goal. And that's what's exciting about this group and this team we have here.
You coached at the Pac-12 at Washington State. What does the opportunity of Colorado State being in the Pac-12 bring to this team?
I loved my year in the Pac-12. I think the opportunity to play high-level competitive football and the exposure that's going to come from being in the Pac-12, I think will be awesome for obviously the university, but all of our student athletes.
Well, Kyle, thanks so much for joining Rams Live. I can't wait to see this team in action.
Thanks for having me.
I don't know about you guys, but I am so excited to see this team in action. You guys definitely don't want to miss this new era of CSU football. You can secure your tickets today at csurams.com/tickets, and make sure to follow @CSU Rams Live so you never miss the inside scoop. Thanks for tuning in.